Hey mate,
Hey,
you all right?
wow, it works. I really suck at technology. It's amazing that I could even do this.
Yes, thanks for jumping on, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Zoom, for making it so easy. How are you doing? What's your name?
Harry.
Harry. I'm Steve.
Yeah, good to meet you. You're based in England, right?
Yes, I moved. I've been living in Highbury in London for like 35 years, and I moved out recently to Suffolk to be near my absolute hero, Ed Sheeran. He lives in the town next to me, and I just wanted to be next to him because I love his music so much.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, I've not actually been. Is that near Ipswich? Is it?
Yeah, I'm not far from Ipswich. I live in I live near Framlingham, which is where he's from.
Okay, cool. All right.
Suffolk is beautiful. I fucking love Suffolk. I live near the most beautiful beach in the world. Well, not in the world. I mean in around this coast, and it's called like the beaches are amazing around here. I love it. Suffolk is like so undiscovered.
Yeah, I think I've seen videos of it on your Instagram. Is that what the Stony
Yeah,
Beach?
yeah, it's a joke. I mean, okay, there's a nuclear power plant called Sizewell on one end of it, but it just goes for miles and miles. I mean, my girlfriend and I, we had a baby seal swim by us the other day in clear water, when it was all warm and the seal just going, it's so cool around here. Lots of snakes on the beach too. There's fucking adders everywhere.
All right.
Uh,
Wow.
so and I moved to a house. Like I don't look like a goth, but I really am like a goth, like real bad. The house that I bought on Island Records money, is in front of a 800-year-old cemetery, like a Saxon cemetery. Like my front yard is fucking gravestones, like big, and they're all lit up at night. And there's an old church there, and the church is apparently Luciferian because there's only two churches in Europe. Well, one in Germany, one here. It's facing the wrong way. The architects, the Saxons put it. It's supposed to be like left weeping towards Christ, and this one's like the other way. So I'm like, fuck! I found a house. I'm so happy here.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I
Anyway,
think, yeah, yeah, I think the first time, just to like make it clear how it's related to the podcast, really, because
yeah.
I was doing a bit of a search for good shoes, basically trying to find
Oh
some members
yeah.
of good shoes, and I
God.
think it was searching for the hashtag, and I just came across you. I think you were a video of you on a skateboard talking about how you signed good shoes.
Oh man, I discovered them. I fucking love that band. I hate this planet that band isn't even now. I mean, okay, they split up, and I could tell you why they split up. I could tell you everything about it. I'm an expert on Good Shoes. Do you like that album? Do you like their two? Do you like them?
It's brilliant. That first album is really underrated, like you say.
The
It's
first album, fuck me, it's just so like it's just beautiful. Like when I listen to it, sometimes I cry. Like in the city, and I don't ever fucking cry. Like I could have, a family member dying in front of me and I don't cry, but there's something about Good Shoes. There's something because I know where they came from. They were young fucking kids. They were like 16, 17-year-olds. And I saw their first ever gig in London, and they were sloppy as fuck, but I just saw it. I was like, holy shit, you guys are the real deal. And they were. The singer for the Good Shoes is a proper fucking artist. I mean, I could tell you stories as to why they are the greatest artists of all time. They fucking oh god, I love them so much. But they were difficult to manage because would never be told what to do. They're they had these rules in that band, and they stuck to them, and they slept on park benches every night drunk, and they loved life, and they would, it was such a great time in London, and yeah, I just wish more people knew about that band. I mean, they do. They've got like lots of plays and stuff, but why they weren't like the new Smiths or something? I mean, it's just beautiful. The guitar work. There's no tricks. They wouldn't allow any tricks. They wouldn't in the studio. They wouldn't never. No, we won't have distortion. They won't have delay. They won't have guitar effects. They were just like proper art fucking band, and uh, I'm passionate about that. Thank you for bringing good shoes up.
no, that's all right. Like we'll get more into it, but I guess just to get a bit of context on how you ended up being around that scene in the 2000s. Like, you've obviously had, I was just reading up on you in the Guardian article, like you've had an eventful life. Like, how did you end up at that point in London?
Yeah, I really have had an eventful like career in music, but I've been horribly fucked over by it. Like I am so shadow banned and fucked. And I was, I got hired by Simon Cowell's company, his management company, Modest Management. I got fucking in through all the doors, Harry. I was asked to write songs for One Direction. I I've been in this industry and I've seen the worst fucking shit. And because I have a mouth and I say, hey, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. These people that run the music industry, they have well and truly picked me up by my neck and gone, you can't speak like that to one of us because we're in a little fucking, pyramid secret handshake deal thing. And yeah, I've what I'm trying to get at is, yes, I've had a really amazing career, but boy, have I been butt fucked at the same time, really hard.
Okay, because I mean, so you came to London in the 80s and you ended up auditioning for the likes of My Bloody Valentine before you got your
Yeah,
own record deal, is that right?
yeah. Bye bye. I was just off the boat from the States. I had defected from my country. I hated my country, the politics. I was studying in Costa Rica and Nicaragua in 1984. I was an exchange student for like a year and a half. So I got to see, before the internet, I got to see pure fucking, fucking what's going on right now. I got to see that firsthand in Nicaragua and stuff, calling them communist and Reagan and all this stuff. So I skedaddled out of that country. I realized that it was, not what it was presenting itself to be. So I came to England. I decided I wanted to get into music. Like that was my dream. I just quit America, quit university. And my first audition, I looked in the Melody Maker, and vocalist wanted for this this indie band who had like one song in the charts. And I went and auditioned for them. I was fucking nervous, and it was my first audition, and they were called My Bloody Valentine. I mean, fuck. It was so fucking awesome. Like, I look back on it and it's just so weird because I ended up living next door to Kevin Shields and Belinda in Islington. They lived right next door to my fucking house. And I had auditioned, So I have this very strange link to My Bloody Valentine. Kevin Shields, I hope I'm not rambling. I'll just never
No,
get to
definitely not. This is great, honestly.
But so Kevin Shields, like, when he lived next door to me, like I saw him a few years later at can't remember if it, I remember Tim Wheeler was with me and we were backstage, and he was saying to me, what were you doing in your house? Like, what? I've always wanted to ask you what happened in your house. He said, I would hear blood curdling screams coming from your house. And he was really shaken up by it. And I was just like, oh, because we used to do a lot of Ouija boards, like have Ouija board parties, and like just I was fucking into Ouija boards big time, and I really got them to work, and I scared, lots of people witnessed shit going down. But I think he heard that, but he also was a big influence in my life because he said, there's this new drug, you have to get it. It's in Amsterdam, and you smoke it. It's like this green, it looks like a dark cocaine. You smoke it and you go to another reality, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what is it? He said, it's this stuff called salvia divinorum. And I was like, I went to Amsterdam, and I sourced that little plant out. It's a plant from Mexico, which is now illegal. But that fucking Kevin telling me to do that, and that moment of taking that plant and going, oh my God, there's plants that want to communicate with humans, and there's completely different realities out there, and it destroys your ego. You have no ego once you inhale this plant. Have you ever had salvia before? You must have friends.
I've heard of it. I worked with a guy who said it was just it's crazy hallucinogenic kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking madness. It's indescribable. But anyway, okay, so yeah, I auditioned for My Bloody Valentine. I arrived, and I had like a backward baseball cap. I was listening to Beastie Boys at the time, and there they were. They were like I don't know. They were more like Loop. I don't know if you know who Loop were. They looked like they were dark, bowl cuts. And I went in there and I spoke to the bassist, and she said, "Oh yeah, I remember you. You were singing something about nuclear war. Yeah, they called me and they were really nice. They were like, oh, sorry, we found someone else. They got that girl Belinda, who later on ended up being his girlfriend." Um, but yeah, I would have ruined that band if I got that job. I mean, I would have ruined that band with my American accent for sure.
Better play, yeah. And I suppose it's worth mentioning at this point that, I don't know, you were like living with a lot of exotic animals. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I was saying, like, I've got the world's most rarest lizard here. David Attenborough did a documentary about this very lizard. I've had the police in London try to take this away from me. It's fucking rare. And it's
Wow.
whoa. Jumped on the Zoom. Yeah, this thing is fucking rare, like really, really rare. Hold on, calm down. You just gotta see it. Just wants to jump on the phone. Hold on.
Yes.
Ow, he's so sharp. All right, just look at his face. Look at that.
What lizard is it?
Cold place suck. Cold place. This is called a Fiji iguana. Come on, look at that. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, that's amazing.
They were only discovered in the 80s. I bought that thing in Germany for 2,000 quid about 15 years ago. And it has to have paperwork, and nobody has them. Like, you can't, in America, they're prohibited. Nobody has them. So I have scientists coming to my house and taking pictures of this lizard. That thing is the fucking bomb. And he's hysterical as well. He's really like, just like an absolute cunt. And God, if the RSPCA knew it was going down in this house, sometimes he gets hot box accidentally with like my volcano vaporizer.
Blimey.
Hey, look at this picture. Just look at
I did notice that. That's great. Yeah.
It's a Princess Diana, 1997. Look at that. She's got her Ford Escort and everything. This is a company called Good Shirt. So I like it. Look at my crucifixes. Why are they upside down? Why are they going upside down? That's weird. Does the crucifixes look upside down?
Yeah.
Huh. Strange.
That's odd.
Yeah.
And then just going back. Yeah, so this article.
Did that lizard just say something? Did you hear the lizard say something?
Just now?
Yeah.
Don't think so. Oh, about Coldplay, maybe.
Yeah, did it say, what did it say? Coldplay what?
The Coldplay suck, I think.
Oh, fucking hell. Jesus. Yes, you're bad.
Is he more of a Sharon man, yeah? Sharon lizard.
Oh my God. I don't know if you know this, but last year or the year before, I went for Christmas #1. I wrote a song called Ed Sheeran Kills Jesus.
All right. Didn't see that, I don't think.
You'll have to hear it. It's a song that's about a dream I had. Like, Jesus was in my dream. He was slashing his wrists, and I was like, hey, Jesus, stop. Why are you doing that? And he was just like, have you heard Ed Sheeran's new single? And then I woke up, and then I wrote a song about it. But like, yeah, it was that bad. Like, he was trying to kill himself.
All right.
So yeah, I wrote a song about it. It's called Ed Sheeran Kills Jesus. It's really good.
Okay, I'll have a listen, because I was listening to your new songs, The Poverty Line.
Poverty Line, yeah, I dropped that yesterday. It came out. Thank you for listening to it. I think it's a pretty fucking good song. Like, it's...
No, yeah, I was enjoying it, yeah. And where did you film that? Just in and around the town where you live?
Yeah, where I live, yeah. The people at Tesco's, I went in there and they said, oh, they showed me on the phone that they passed it around. The manager of Tesco's was leaving and filmed me like jumping into cars. I was just like terrorizing Tesco's, complaining about the cost of living crisis,
Yeah, fair play, mate.
But yeah, like, I'm known in Tesco's now, so I have to chill with my shoplifting,
Yeah, just going back to what was said in the article, like, it was interesting that it said your girlfriend had brought out an indie magazine, and that you'd often have parties at your apartment, but there are also a lot of snakes and other kind of reptiles in there. Is that right?
Yeah, I've always had, like, I've had, my house is just covered in venomous snakes and stuff. I love snakes, and I always have. I love snakes. as much as I love music. Those are the only two things I have a passion about in life. I don't play computer games. I hate sports. I think it's, just stupid. I think it's for, the masses, just to whatever. Like, I like snakes, I like reptiles and music, but I don't know. That's it.
Yeah. And there's a point where, yeah, you like you mentioned the big record deal with a band called Carrie. Like,
Yeah.
how quickly did that come around?
It's just so stupid. I look back on it and I feel so sorry for kids now that are doing bands. But to be honest with you, I didn't deserve that record deal at all. Like, nobody did. A lot of the bands at that time, getting a major label record deal in 1997 was as easy as falling off a log. Like, it really was. It just was. You had that whole explosion, with the 90s. You had the whole indie thing. I mean, I'm just so fortunate to have lived in London and really lived in the music scene. I saw every aspect of the music scene from 1987 till fucking when I skedaddled, when the music scene died. As far as I'm concerned, like, kind of after Good Shoes and after all that stuff, I just thought, wow, it's just not the same. There was lots of money. It was very easy to get signed back then, is what I'm saying. Carrie were together, I think, for about 4 or maybe 5 weeks,
Wow.
before, like, a lawyer that we found that happens to be she was Ed Sheeran's manager. She's a fucking massive lawyer. She put together Sugar Babes. She's very, very famous in the music industry. She just took us under her wings and just said, "Oh yeah, we had a demo, and boom, we'd be at rehearsal and I just got you 100 grand," and then a half hour later, "I just got you 150 grand," and it was just constant, like, and it was stupid. We were getting flown around, and there were drugs, and there's lobsters. I was in a band with the bassist from EMF, is a guy called Zach Foley, who was infamous because he had a massive dick with a massive foreskin, and he was in that band. But we were really, like, stupid and young, and like, everything was about. I felt guilty to sign to a major label, and that's the first time I'd been on a major label, and just, like, I don't know, you feel a little bit of guilt because it did give you money and stuff, but whenever we went out to dinner, we would order caviar, we would order lobster, we would order everything that was expensive. We would order caviar, but we'd put it under the table. We wouldn't even touch it. We would just make the bill as big as we fucking could, not knowing that really that was us going to be paying for it. But it felt good at the time. It felt rebellious. But it was a disaster. The record label were trying to pay my girlfriend to get me to lose weight because we were doing videos, like, in Costa Rica, and it's blowing like fucking 60 grand every video that wasn't even, half of them weren't getting shown. And just, like, imagine being told, your girlfriend getting, offered money to get the singer to lose fucking weight. I was really into Brian Wilson at the time, so I was like, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. I want to get fat. So anytime the record company would come into, like, the studio, I'd have plates of fucking cookies, and I'm a real pothead, so I can knock them back. But, like, they come in and they say, "This isn't a joke, Steve. It isn't a joke." And I go, "Leave me alone, leave me alone." And I'd run upstairs, and the label were literally saying, "This is not a joke. Like, we're gonna drop you," and stuff. So I went hard at it, because imagine being treated like that. It's like, don't tell me to lose weight, you fucking cunts. I'll do whatever I want. It has nothing to do about the fucking music. I used to, and then years later, I had some arguments with various artists that I was managing, and I asked them to fucking lose weight. And they said the same thing to me: "Shut the fuck up. It has nothing to do with the music." And I thought to myself, "You're right, kid, carry on eating. Let's see how it goes." Do you want to be Kurt Cobain or Black Francis? There's a you can be Black Francis. It's cool, but it's fat. Kurt Cobain, but you're gonna end up, with fame and all the sadness. It's a tough choice. I'd go for Black Francis. I don't know. I like them both.
So how long were you able to stay on the record label for then?
Not too long. I managed to get myself kicked off the label because I don't know if you ever saw something. I wrote an article for Vice. I shat on the cover of the New Musical Express on the NME, and I defecated on it. And I took snake venom, and there was blood, and I was cutting myself, and I was doing something that I thought was funny. And this was before Jackass. Like I still have that tape. You can find it. It's hysterical. And when I say I shat on the NME, the funny story is I didn't. I didn't. I'm too hygienic as an American to do that. So I was like, how can I make this? I'm not going to do that. I shoved a fucking like Mars bar up my fucking ass. I put it up there. And then I pushed it out to make it look real, but it wasn't shit. It was chocolate. I'll just say that right now, just to make the record clear. But anyway, everyone at the NME, and I sent it to Kerrang and stuff, they thought I was committing suicide and they were very concerned, and the label dropped us. And my manager told me my retarded manager, I was mismanaged all the way through my career, because someone like me, you definitely don't want in the music industry, 100%. Like, you do not want me to have any voice or any power in the music industry, because, I'm a fucking fighter.
Better play, yeah. But was there a point where you started writing music for the likes of Placebo and Ash? Is that right?
Yeah. So I mean, I started off in a band called Some Have Fins. I played Reading Festival when Nirvana were there around, and I played with Pearl Jam and Hole and and then I was in a band called Levitation, which were like this English psychedelic rock band. I was just a replacement singer. And then I was in a band called Pura Vida, and then I turned into Carrie. And then after Carrie, I just started writing, and I wrote for Ash. I wrote a song called Warmer Than Fire. I've written, I was lucky enough fortunate enough to co-write 2 songs now with Brian Moko from a rock band called Placebo. And that was really fun, really good experience. And that was good. And
which songs were there? Sorry.
I wrote a song called Ashtray Heart, which was on their album called Battle for the Sun. And on their new album, I co-wrote a track, which is the first track on their new album. And it is the first track on their new album. Chemicals.
Called what, sorry?
It's called Forever Chemicals.
Okay, cool. I'll have a listen.
But yeah, I songwrite. I also wrote a song. I wrote a whole album for an act called Betty Curse, which is she was a girl that was going on at the same time of Good Shoes. She was the actress who was in 28 Days Later, and I got her signed to Island Records. I went back there for a second time. I wrote the whole album, and the album's fucking great. It's very early, emo, meant for young girls pop, talking about shoving crucifixes and, inside yourself, like Linda Blair, that sort of thing. But the label, I think, deemed it a little bit too, it wasn't Christian rock, and they got scared of it, and horrible things happened to her, really bad shit, and lots of sexual, people just treating her badly. And yeah, the music industry really is shit. Someday when I really expose it, I can name big people. I could go, that guy fucking was inappropriate with a 17-year-old girl, stuff like that. It's just so gross.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
The music industry is so scummy, you can't imagine it.
And before we get stuck into the 2000s era, I just wanted to ask about the TV show you did with Guns N' Roses. What was that about?
Yeah, so then I was in this band called Little Hell, which, was good. It's mine. It's all fucking mine. I wrote up, all the songs. It's mine. It's my baby. It gets taken away from me. I still don't see anything for it. I'm constantly being assaulted and taken advantage of. Even some of the songs you mentioned I've written, I've never received 1 penny for, not one, because it's stolen from me. That's how bad it is. But yeah, I was in a band called Little Hell, and I was touring with a band called Amen, which were a punk band at the time, like a new metal-y sort. They weren't new metal, but anyway, Slash and Duff McKagan had heard my Little Hell album, and they had decided that my voice was very good, and they could hear the fucking anger in my voice, and they could see that I was, I guess, for real. And they flew me to Los Angeles. And I was kind of aware that there were going to be cameras there, but I wasn't aware that as soon as I got there, I had like VH1 cameras in my fucking face. And it was a bit naff, to be honest with you. I look back on it and I feel embarrassed for those guys. And, you know, but my idea, I wrote like 5 tracks with them, and they're, you know, they were kick ass, and it was good. My idea was to toughen those boys up and to stop, you know, just singing about shit things, and to really toughen them up, and to, you know, I have the ability to get possessed by various artists, and one of them certainly is Bon Scott. And I was going to bring Bon Scott to their fucking table, but, you know, they decided to go with a better man, Scott Weiland. God rest his soul.
Okay, was that the outcome then? That
well, they went with a named singer. That was the main thing. Like they had, they wanted to go with a named singer, and I kind of was a little bit like, oh yeah, but you shouldn't take a heroin addict. Don't take a heroin addict, because it just doesn't work out. I was very surprised that they did that. It's impossible to work with that drug in that way, you know. It's just impossible. But anyway, that was another opportunity missed, but because it would have been really good. I was planning on making that band good. But so yeah, like you said, you can see that I've had this kind of strange career, and I've just been on the outside, and I watch stuff, and you know. But one of the best thing about my life, I mean, I got to play with a band called Ween, who I love. Like I worship Ween, and I also got to play. I used to tour around a lot with a band called Cardiacs. Have you ever heard Cardiacs?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I just urge you to just hunt down Cardiacs. They're not even on Spotify. They won't allow their music on there. But Cardiacs are the most incredible band from England that you just need to hear. You won't even believe what you're hearing. Cardiacs started, early 80s or whatever. But the singer, Tim Smith, died, you know, I don't know, years ago, a handful of years ago. He died of cardiac arrest and problems. But please check out Cardiacs. Fuck. You know,
okay,
Radiohead and Blur, they're all heavily influenced by Cardiacs, they say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have a listen. And then, yeah, just getting into that 2000s era then, like you say, you discovered Good Shoes. Is that what you were up to at the time? Like, how did that happen?
Right around I was doing the Slash stuff, I was doing Good Shoes. So I discovered Good Shoes. My heart is pure. I brought them to a management company who said, yeah, we'll take them with you. We'll, you know, handshake deal. We'll do it half and half and stuff, which is a massive mistake for me, because, you know, of course, you know what's coming. But anyway, like, to be honest with you, that band were so endearing. The singer for that band, he didn't even need a manager. All he does is he would make like little handwritten notes to John Kennedy at XFM and stuff, and his little cassettes would be hand drawn. He would put so much work into the art just to be a little bit different, just to be noticed, and it worked. You know, they started getting plays on his own. But I was friends through Carrie. I was friends with Zane Lowe for a long, you know. I haven't seen him for a long time because he lives in the States, but I was, you know, pretty tight with Zane Lowe, and I passed it on to Zane Lowe, and he loved it. And he fucking, you know, he's not about friend business. He wouldn't have done it because I knew him, but he just loved it. And he put it on the radio, and it started going from there. It just naturally started happening. The scene around that time, I looked at the youth then, and I was like, hey, this is happening. You know, this is this is happening. And, hey, the Libertines were going at the same time. And what other bands were Good Shoes playing with? And they were playing with all those bands. A lot of some of the bands like got, what was it called? New Rave.
Yeah.
What was the band that went?
Yeah, Klaxons.
Yeah, Klaxons. So they would play with them, and is it Metrome? Yeah, just it was cool. Like I was older. Like I was old, and I looked at what was happening, and I was like, this is so cool. These kids are fucking filling these tents out and going bananas, to Good Shoes, going fucking ape shit, going bananas. And I saw them every night, and I've never been so proud. I felt like they were my little brothers, and I don't have brothers. I was just so proud of them, and so proud of the fact that they just would say no. Like they would ask to be, if you asked them to do an advert or something, they would just be like, no, it doesn't matter how much money it was. It'd be just like, no. But it came to their detriment. Let me tell you this funny story, because the bassist of Good Shoes, he's a difficult character. Like he was really difficult. Like I'd get in arguments with him. He liked to drink, and he liked to argue with me. But anyway, they went on Zane Lowe's end of the year show live on Radio 1. All right, we got Good Shoes. This is their big fucking moment. And they go on the fucking radio, and Zane Lowe is asking, so what are you guys up to? And the singer's just like, we're going to go on tour. And he's like, where? And he's like, I don't know, just check, MySpace. And then he said, oh, it's been an exciting year for you guys, and stuff. And the bass player, like this, he goes live on the radio. He goes, yes, Zane. Thanks, Zane. We owe it all to you, Zane. Just like that. The most sarcastic fucking cunty fucking voice you've ever heard. And that was it. Fucking, do you know what? Like, that was it. Like, I just, the phone rang, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, like literally, Zane Lowe barely even talked to me after that. He like, I lost my friendship because of Good Shoes, but I don't care, because Good Shoes are great. I choose Good Shoes over friendship any fucking day.
What a quote! Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are brilliant. I went to see them quite a few times.
Oh, really?
In that area, yeah. I remember watching them in Leeds. It was brilliant.
Oh, what, like the Leeds Festival?
No, is it Brudenell Social Club?
Oh, okay, yeah. There's just something about Good Shoes. I can't tell you. It's so pure. It's so, and Reese, the singer, he's just this, probably the most angry little frustrated fucking, he hates society. He hates us all for being stupid. And he sings about it, and in a really beautiful way.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get that from looking at him, would you? It's quite an unassuming character, maybe. Yeah.
Nah, they were just such nice boys. They were very suspicious. It took me a while of, I had to go down and like meet their parents, and the mother's American, and just say, listen, your sons have got something here. They've got talent, like really. And they're like, what? And like, no, they can really do it, and they loved it. When they saw them on TV and saw them, I think, they just loved it. So yeah. I'm so glad that you mentioned Good Shoes.
No, they're brilliant. I mean, go on, sorry.
I really see it as the greatest thing I did in my life.
Okay, right.
Musically, I think it's the greatest thing that I was ever involved with, or I ever did. Like maybe if I didn't get involved, or maybe they'd be bigger because they wouldn't have, been on Zane Lowe like that. But I don't know. But yeah, I just that's it. Like, if that's all I ever did in my life was bring Good Shoes onto fucking Spotify. So in 20 years, some Mexican kid can go, holy shit, this is awesome. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's like, it would be great to talk to one of them, but it's quite hard to track down, I think.
Really? Yeah. They're like that. Like they're my brothers. Like I said, if I saw them right now, I'd be hugging them. We'd be laughing, but we don't keep in touch. It's not that type. They're not that type of people. I'm not. It's just, I can't explain it. No,
yeah, I respect it. Like, they don't want to So, you know, some people just don't want to dredge up the past or something. That's fair enough, I guess. But I was talking to Hugo from the Maccabees, and he said he thinks that Reese is a lifeguard these days, maybe, or something. I'm not sure.
Really? What, in Berlin?
I don't know. He just said, I've heard he's a lifeguard, but he wasn't sure where.
Well, I know, I'm pretty sure Reese lives in Berlin now.
Okay, right. Maybe it's a bit of an indie rumor.
Yeah, I don't know where they all are. I could find like Steve, the guitar. I mean, oh God, they're like old souls. They're weird, like really weird, like funny as fuck, like Steve Martin funny. Like in the studios, I'd be in there and just be like, they get drunk and just be like, just being like different from other people. They're like, I don't know, just politically and classically trained, you know, it's just weird.
So
Weird old men. Old men.
So what was your working relationship with them? Was it like an A&R person? Like, I'm not really familiar with how it works.
As their manager, but really all I am, I've managed, you know, I'm just a really good cheerleader. Like I'm a really good, like saying to people like, you must hear this band. And so that's what I did.
Okay.
And I got them signed and I got them this and but then when it comes down to managing and, you know, finding mandolin strings at 3 a.m. in downtown Austin and trying the rent off the local Hebrews. Sorry, that's a line from Spinal Tap. Like, right. You know, it's not all like sex, drugs, and rock and roll for the manager. It's shit, and it's a real babysitting job. And basically, I had them, you know, rips the label. Here's what happens. This is the sad thing about the music industry. That band were on such a trajectory of going, yes, 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 everything's great. And then one day you get a call, and the label, the record label, who was called Brill, they were an offshoot of EMI. The guy who started Brill is Leo Silverman. Great guy. Fucking loved Good Shoes. Loved them. Would never have dropped them. But he was involved in signing White Stripes and Prodigy. Okay, so they gave him his own label. Guess what happened? A year later, some accountant is going, we need to get rid of all these labels. That's what happened to me on, you know, on a label. They just, all these accountants will just get rid of labels, you know, bang, bang, bang. So suddenly there's no label and they just, no one fucking got them signed again. And then they fucking disbanded. It should never have happened.
Okay, right. Yeah,
that's what.
Go on, sorry. Yeah.
That is what happened. So, yeah. Oh God, what are kids gonna do now? I mean, I still love the music scene, and I was supposed to go see Ash in the subways last night in London, but I didn't make it. But so what else? So you're only talking about 2000s, like early 2000s, sort of.
Yeah, like were you working with any other bands at that point in and around Good Shoes?
God dang it. Well, yeah. I started putting together a pop band, a boy band, a guitar boy band for a major label, and oh my God, it's quite cool. It was Roman Kemp.
All right.
And some of his friends, and they were really young, like 16 years old. And one of the guys that's in that band is now in a band that is doing quite well. And they're trying, well, yeah, whatever. They're in a band called Zetra. Okay. You might want to check them out. They're sort of like really gaining momentum and stuff. But yeah, so I worked with them, and that was just a shit show as well. Like, you know, it's just a shit show out there, especially now. I mean, you know, now I don't try to messing in the music industry. You know, I wouldn't know what to do. I don't understand all the, hey, it's all about Spotify ads. You need to get ads. You know, I just think, oh, well, whatever, you know. I spent years I mean, I worked with really big management companies and stuff, and they were just yelling at me. You know, if I ever tried to present them an artist, they'd say, how many followers they got?
Mm.
And you say, no, it's new. And I can't do anything with it. Do you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh God. One of the people that I used to knock around with, she got Coldplay their deal, she got Adele their deal. We're talking big. She used to manage Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Okay. She got rid of Ed Sheeran.
Oh wow.
You know why?
Go on.
She told me. Hey, I just look at him. I knew he's talented, but I just looked at him like, what can I do with this kid? And then 6 months later, whoops.
Yeah.
But I think it's like the funniest fucking, you miss the fucking Beatles. You miss the fucking Beatles, that's what,
pretty wild.
I'm not comparing him to the Beatles, but certainly
In terms of numbers, yeah.
In numbers, yeah, he's not an artist. But my song Ed Sheeran Kills Jesus, it's a really nice song. I'm gonna bump into him soon. He knows who I am. He's really good friends with a lot of my friends. He's I used to knock around with Chris Martin a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I should tell you some funny stories about that too. But
yeah,
Ed Sheeran, the song is really good. I mean, I had so many friends in the music industry. Oh, I lost my publishing deal because of the song I wrote, Ed Sheeran Kills Jesus. My fucking publisher didn't want anything to do with the song. Anything.
Right, okay.
And it was really because my song was, people didn't want to hear my song. But my song, people were saying, Steve, don't touch him. He's so big in the music industry and he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. What do you have against him? And I had friends just saying, he's nice, Steve. I know him. And I said, I don't fucking care. I just don't want to live in a world where every time I go shopping for overpriced dry roasted peanuts, I get to hear his fucking music. And it's making me buy more products. I don't want to hear it. So anyway, my song goes like this. Because everyone was saying he's a nice guy, my song goes, I'm sure Ed is a really nice guy, but someone needs to tell him his music's really dire. Really gross, makes me wanna throw up my toast. Oh, Ed, I'm sure Ed is a really swell dude, but someone needs to tell him his songs are mushy poo. Defecate, feels like a pig shat in my head. Oh, Ed, feels like a pig shat in my head. Oh, Ed, you make Jesus want to slash his wrist. Oh, Ed, you make Satan weep to heaven. Oh, Ed, you make Jesus want to slash his wrist. Jesus wants to slash his goddamn wrist.
All right.
I'm sure Ed is a really nice guy. If I have to hear one more song of his, I'll die. Hang myself. I'd rather rot in eternal hell.
Can't believe they dropped you for that, man.
Yeah, listen, I'm not picking on the way he looks, on his shitty tattoos, anything. I'm just saying, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but honestly, his music fucking sucks. And the fact that we have to live in a world where we're in this this planet is weird. Like, what happened? Why aren't we listening to Devo in the supermarkets?
Yeah, I heard Julian Casablancas making this point once. Like,
oh really?
Well, he said he's kind of I think he used Ariel Pink as an example. Like he thought he should be massive, and that maybe if David Bowie came out now, that he wouldn't get anywhere or something.
Yeah, it is all like that. That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm sure Ed is a really nice guy, but it's just lame. I mean, come on. I mean, I'd much prefer to hear the Stones when they just came out. I mean, the lyrics, lyrics should be subversive and dangerous and risky and this and fucking poking, you know, dear Charles, don't you ever crave to appear on the front of the Daily Mail dressed in your mother's bridal veil? You know, it has to be like that. But no one's doing that now. It's just about selling products. Hi, we're a Coldplay. We're a Christian band. Everyone hold their lights up. Whee! Buy Coca-Cola. Buy, you know, it's bullshit. It's
Well, yeah.
The music industry is controlled Christian right bullshit.
Well, why do you think people lap up people like Ed Sheeran? Why is he so big, do you think?
Because they don't really have any choice. It's just been pounded on their phones, and you know, it's just okay, I'll tell you why. It's because America controls what type of music gets out there, in the sense that Walmart is very after like 9/11 and after like Columbine, George Bush said no more dark music. They shut down rock and roll ages ago. There's nothing subversive anymore. There's no dead Kennedys. There's nothing. Everyone's a fucking pussy because they've just been, you can't get your records. You can't get anywhere. You have to say, my name is Ed Sheeran, and I promise to abide by the rules of Christianity. I pledge my allegiance to Jesus Christ. And you know, that's what it is. And when you do that, and trust me, they fucking do that. They all do that. They're all like, it's just how it is. I know it sounds, I'm getting a bit David Icke here at the moment, but if you're that type of artist, you get plugged like fuck.
Yeah, I heard Alan McGee make a similar point. Like they just,
oh really?
Yeah, he said people like the record labels are going to go with someone that's easy to work with, basically.
Well, you know, that's not to say Satanists are difficult to work with. It's just not easy to work with. I don't know if that's it, but they just want good, clean music to sell products. You know, it's as simple as that. But hey, everything's cyclical. You know, there's people out there right now. I mean, like right now. Have you heard Lambrini Girls?
Yeah, I heard one song, yeah.
They sound like they're angry.
Yeah.
You know what record I really like now is 100 Gex, the 10,000 Gex. Have you heard 100 Gex?
Don't think so. No, it's another one to listen to, yeah.
Oh my God, check out 100 Gex. They're getting very, very big very quickly. There's just two people, and it's you can't even describe their music. It's genreless, and the production on it is fantastic. But it's pop. Be warned. It's very pop, but it's good pop. It's subversive, and it's doing well. So I do have hopes that bands like 100 Gex will show planet Earth how pop music should be again. And I think they're up for a fucking, you know, Grammy nomination already. So you'll do 100 Gex. They've got the 90s and 2000 vibes in them, and they're modern as well. It's a boy and a girl, and they rock.
How do you find new music these days?
How do I find it? Don't know. Oh, you know how I'm quite sneaky. I'm quite sneaky about how I've always found music. And I'm friends with some journalists that I really respect. Yeah.
Right.
So if you're friends with, if you know music journalists, even if you follow them online, if you know which ones to listen to, as soon as they tip something off, I always check it out and then make my own decision up. But sometimes that is a way of getting in early on bands. It's just the right journalists.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's a trick. I don't know. Sometimes you can just stumble upon stuff. I don't know. How do you find it? I don't listen to Spotify playlists ever. I don't even know what that is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as dedicated as I used to. I should be like a bit more active with it. But I mean, I do listen to a Spotify playlist, like a release radar one, but it's not a great way of finding stuff. Like, I should listen to more Six music, really. But
Well, yeah, see, I wish I did that. But here's the real problem with England and culture at the moment is that when I came to England, and the reason I got to like audition for all these bands and find bands is because there were 3 fucking music papers, Sounds, Melody Maker, and NME. Every week, 50p at every fucking newsagent. So all you have to do is pick up your favorite copy. I'm the Melody Maker guy. I'm NME. You would pick that up, and I guarantee you, you knew everything about, hey, where the Smiths were or whatever, blah, blah, blah. In the back, there were adverts, vocalists wanted, guitarist wanted, call this number. Hey, it's My Buddy Valentine. Constant music. There were music venues in London. There was the Astoria, blah, blah. They were everywhere. They've been systematically shut down. They want to get rid of the Brixton Academy now. London is virtually dead of music venues. Everything's going to be at the O2, and it's all going to be, hold up your lights, everyone. Yay, woo. That's all it is. You know, it's been taken away. So imagine how it used to be, how teenagers used to be. If you wanted to get laid, obviously there was no Hinge or Minge or Tinder or anything. You had to go to fucking gigs. That's where you did. So everyone became a music expert. Even people that were out to just get laid knew a little bit about music and probably got turned on to music. I can't explain it. Like, it was just so fucking great. I don't want to sound like some old guy and like going, oh, the 60s were great. Because obviously the 60s were really good, but so were the 90s. And people in the 90s knew that that was the 60s, and things are cyclical and stuff. But I don't know about the cyclical nature. I don't know if it's ever going to come back to anything good, because music has been absolutely, I could do a whole fucking documentary on it. I could pinpoint out from where George Bush and Reagan and all these fucking cunts have tried to shut it down. They do not like, it's the voice of rebellion. That's what music is. It's, calm the savage beast. And they calm it by putting fucking Ed Sheeran and Coldplay and nice artists everywhere and getting rid of anyone who has any kind of voice of that could be a danger to their corporation. I mean, it's obvious stuff, but it used to be so good. Music was so important to everyone. You could ask anybody in the 90s, hey, you could ask a 54-year-old, hey, do you know what the #1 single in the country is? And they probably go, oh, it's Bryan Adams again, isn't it? Everyone watched Top of the Pops. Everyone knew about music. And now it's just not really here, is it? It's just not there. Why would you, there's no NME. Why would you even look at the NME online when they're talking about celebrities and music and stupid things? There's no sort of true music source. And for you to ask, like, how do you find your music? I'm asking you too, how do you find it? Because it isn't like how it used to be. Like, it was this natural source that everyone knew about. Why did they take Top of the Pops off? Because they were fondling the fucking kids? I don't know. Like, you know, why did they take that off? That was so stupid. Oh, God. And when you take music away from society, I just think, okay, it's going to go badly now, because it really is. Music is, anthropologists know it. It was the first form of language. If you wanted to communicate and go, you know, beats and shit like that, you know, it's language, and they take it away. You know, I think music is being treated perhaps, well, no, I won't even say it. I don't even say anything like that. But it's bad. It's been, and you could ask Lars Ulrich from Metallica. Everyone thought he was an asshole at the time, but he knew it. He saw it. He saw what was happening. Unfortunately, you know, the demise of the music industry, a lot of it does have to do with the public not buying records anymore. So then the labels, you know, don't fucking sign bands anymore. And it's a terrible, you know, thing. But can you feel it? Can you think that there's just a lack of kind of culture and scenes going on? Come on, in 2000 and 2005, there was, you know, just whatever. You had Strokes, you had Libertines, you had this, everyone's dressing. There's nothing now. How's anyone dressing? What scene? what scene is there? You know, what's going on? It's so been pulled apart. You know, you can go to festivals, you know, maybe, you know, if you can afford it, but who can afford festivals?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I feel the same, but then I question: is it because of my age? Is it because I'm not getting out there? But it does feel like it's all a
You
bit
know,
diluted. Yeah,
yeah, it's diluted. No, it's not your age. Of course. How old are you?
35.
35. Oh God. Oh fuck. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not you. No, it's definitely, you know, I kid you not, everyone read music papers. They were everywhere.
No, I
So
used to read anime all the time. Yeah,
okay, so you remember reading NME. And it was good
yeah,
too,
yeah.
wasn't it? It was fun. It was funny.
It
It
was
was
brilliant. Yeah.
it's vicious. It was nasty sometimes. One of my best friends really in life is a guy called Mark Beaumont.
Yeah. I've had him on here.
Oh yeah, you've had Mark Beaumont on here?
Yeah, yeah. Early on. Yeah.
I love Mark Beaumont. I think he's the greatest English music journalist of all time. I really do.
Oh, okay.
He's the man who gave Manic Street Preachers a 0 for their greatest hits album.
Yeah, fair play. We were questioning some of his ratings actually, but yeah,
But it's funny though.
yeah, yeah.
The Stereophonics wrote that song about him. Hey, Mr. Writer,
Is that about him? Is it?
Oh fuck yeah! He gave him a review, and they fucking hate his guts. He's not even allowed in Wales. They'll kill him. Between the Manics and the Stereophonics, he's a dead man. They'll get Ann. You know what? They'll get Ann Watson to fucking drag him into jail and fucking do all kinds of things. What about Lost Prophets? Holy shit! Oh, here's the Lost Prophets story. Ready? Here's my link to Lost fucking Prophets.
Okay, go on.
In my band, Little Hell, we had a drummer called Luke Johnson. Okay, Luke Johnson toured with us. He's from Birmingham, and I stole him out of a band he was in because he was just the fucking shit hot drummer. And at the end of Little Hell, that fell to pieces. I went and did the Slash thing, and it fell to pieces after that. He joined Lost Prophet.
All right.
Luke Johnson is the Lost Prophets drummer. He was in Lost Prophets for quite a while towards the end there. And I think he had said, he had told one of my other bandmates, he had said, oh, it's really good to be in a proper band. You know, like we got proper tour buses and stuff. None of that Little Hell stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That would have been hardcore. I've never really sat down and spoken to Luke about that. I feel bad for him, whatever he went through with Lost Prophets. I think it was pretty hardcore being tailed by the police. And, you know, I'm sure it must have been an outrageous time for them, eh?
Well, yeah, I was thinking like what it must have been like for the other members. That must have been a lot to process for them.
Yeah, no, I think the other members, you know, I also know a journalist who sat in on the court hearing for 3 weeks, and they were offered like a month off work and counseling because it was that bad. The public don't know really what was really going down. And, you know, like, yeah. So like it was pretty bad. I think he'll go down as the baddest person in the music industry ever. I can't see anyone ever being badder than him.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be honest with you, I thought that their music was shite. I thought his singing was atrocious. I never ever liked that band. And, you know, when my drummer joined them, I was just like, oh, whatever, dude, like, whatever. And when that went down, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I got lots of like little like family tree links going everywhere. Like,
yeah, have you ever thought about doing a book or anything?
like people ask me that all the time, but I dropped out of high school. I hate school so much. I don't read books. I've never read a book in my life. I'm a real big Bill Hicks fan. Like, I agree with him. Like, why read books when you can just watch TV?
Fair point. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I don't. It would remind me of school. So like I just can't. I don't write. I don't have any of those abilities. But if there was a way of writing, hey, maybe there's a way of writing where you don't have to use a pen. You just talk to a computer and just like spill it all out, and then the computer writes it for you. I bet that you could do that now, right?
Yeah. Okay,
But
well, go on. Sorry.
I'd love to get something. I wouldn't like to write a book, but just get my stories out. So Chris Martin. Oh
Yeah.
dear, oh dear. Okay, so this is 2000s. This is 2000s. So yeah, like I was knocking around like with Tim Wheeler a lot. Tim Wheeler from Ash. Do you like Ash?
Yeah, I love some of the songs. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just such a great songwriter, really is. And like I have to say, I have never just one of the nice, just such a nice person. It's crazy. Like those people are so. And through Tim Wheeler, I started hanging out with Chris Martin. Chris Martin had just done his first album. He hadn't even released his second album. And I was hanging out with him a lot, like a lot. You know, we were always out together. And then, you know, I was friends with his brother. I was, you know, constantly hanging around Chris, being invited into his house to listen to his third album. You know, I felt like this is cool. Like, you know, I have to say, Chris Martin, I'm going to tell you this story, okay? I kicked a singer out of Little Hell. There was a girl singing, and I did press. It's in the press, in the NME. They asked me, why did I kick her out? And I said, because she came into rehearsal, and this is kind of the truth. And she said, I actually like Coldplay. Coldplay at the time in like in 2000, when they did that song Yellow,
Yeah.
like I'm autistic. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm autistic. There's certain sounds, there's certain things that infuriate me. And when somebody goes, and he was all yellow, or whatever he fucking does with his falsetto, I fucking hate Coldplay. From before I met Chris Martin, I fucking hate Coldplay. I kicked somebody out of my band for saying they liked Coldplay. So I hate Coldplay beyond anything. Like, really, I despise it. And it goes back to the Christian sort of, you know, thing going into music. I'm not into that. I'm not into that being played on the radio. Just like I'm not into it, you know, being in parliament. That's why I love this country. There's no religion. I don't want religious stuff on the fucking radio either. If you want to hear that, go to gospel radio. But anyway, so suddenly Chris Martin is in my face. And he is the nicest human being I've ever met. Like between him and Tim Wheeler, and extremely talented. I would spend nights with them, and they would pick up guitars, and they would write songs about our night, and they would have da 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 da. They would rhyme things. Chris Martin has a talent that, like, honestly, it's out of this world. Okay, so I just want to be fair with my onslaught of my hatred for Coldplay. He's just like super I was like, I used to say to him, how could you do that? He was really kind to me because he was obsessed by my song that I wrote for Ash called Warmer Than Fire. And I was really depressed at the time. And he said, Steve, how can you be so depressed? You've written the greatest song in the world. And he would introduce me to everyone, take me out and say, this is Steve. He's the greatest songwriter in this country. So he's so nice. I can't trash him. He's the nicest guy in the world, but his music sucks, especially now. It got worse and worse and worse. Worse and worse and worse. Like every time I hear a new Coldplay song, I'm like, Chris, why? And it's all about the Christian dollar and the Christian fucking thing. It's just pure money.
Haven't they said they're going to stop making music or something? Was that a PR trick or something? I don't know.
Oh God, you know, that would be amazing. That would truly be amazing if he were to do that. If he were to just to say, or if he would just to apologize, you know, he would just say, listen, I swindled everyone. You know, emotive piano music destroyed everything. Listen, every TV show we hear now, it's got piano fucking Coldplay style American band sounding like that. Everyone sounds like Coldplay. Like, it's bad. It's bad, Harry. Bad. Every day I think about it. We live in a really shitty world? What's wrong with people? But
Okay,
I
yeah, go
have,
on.
right, just such a nice guy, just such a nice guy.
Yeah, I always thought his appearance in extras said a lot about him. He's quite funny in that, if you remember.
Oh, no, seriously, he's like Steve Martin funny. Like I was
Yeah,
shocked. He's like hanging out with Steve Martin. He's like hanging out with Steve Martin.
yeah. Okay,
I
mate, like it.
I
Go on,
locked
sorry.
an old Mercedes and I locked him in the back of my in the trunk going down Camden. Like I had Tim Wheeler, a bunch of people, and there was no room. He's like, I'll get in the trunk, I'll get in the trunk. And he got in the fucking trunk and I drove to Highbury. You know?
Yes. Um, yeah, obviously I really appreciate your time, mate. I just want to like definitely need to mention, I was watching your appearance on This Morning on your Instagram. And obviously you're known for injecting snake venom, so it'd be remiss of me not to mention it. Like, what yeah, where is it at these days? Like, how's it going? Yeah, that'll be getting monetized on YouTube.
There's just syringes everywhere in my house. No, it's okay. It's snake venom. It's legal. It's legal to inject snake venom, kids. No. Oh my God, is this going on YouTube?
Well, only if you're cool with it.
Oh, I'm cool with it. Oh God, did I just attack Christian rock really badly for the last half hour?
I've got no idea. Didn't seem that bad.
Oh my God. It's okay because I can't get canceled because I've already been canceled. Yeah, so I went on this morning to talk about my injecting a snake venom because I did the program for Channel 5 and Animal Planet called The Man Who Injects Venom. And I went on that program and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was with a doctor and I injected a large amount of snake venom, like a sort of before I went on the show, like a half hour before I went on the show. My arm was like fucking like really swollen. And I went outside and I smoked a joint because I'm a like total pothead. Everything I've ever done, I have to have a joint before I do it, even if it's live TV, just to make it awkward. Like I like to feel awkward. I really get off on that. And so right before we were going on, they said, "Oh, you can't get the snakes out. You can't get them out. For insurance reasons, they didn't want me to kill the hosts." And so they gave me. I was like, "Oh, I need to show them." So they gave me these. They got this. I said, "You have a box," and they gave me this like flimsy little plastic box that's for putting files in. And I was like, "That'll do," because I just wanted to get on the TV and have these venomous snakes. So I sat on the lap at 7 in the morning, whatever it was, with a flimsy fucking thing with 2 fucking deadly snakes in it, while Holly, is her name Holly Willoughby?
Yeah.
Whatever. Was like, just the perfume, Jesus. I don't know if it was her perfume or that other guy. What's the guy? What's the car insurance salesman? What's the guy that was on there?
Phil Schofield, yeah.
The guy from the car insurance, right?
Were you buying a car? Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was the guy. I only know him from that. But yeah, that was pretty weird being on there. And I definitely felt awkward for sure. Like I got that rush of like, this is awkward. But yes, I've been injecting snake venom for a long time now. I still do. I just did a documentary. Oh my God, I did a documentary with an Israeli TV company about 2 months ago. I'm fucking friends with all these Israelis. Like they came over to my house and they put drones above my house and did a whole thing. The presenter, who's a massive star in Israel, he did snake venom with me. He fucking injected snake venom with me. Wow. They're doing a documentary on longevity, on anti-aging. I have all these scientists knocking on my door now. Everyone's knocking on my door because longevity is the new rock and roll buzzword. Everyone wants to live longer. And I've been in books now, people are saying Steve Ludwin is the only one who's doing it. I've managed to slow my aging down. I'm 57 years old. I've slowed my fucking aging down. When I'm 60, you'll see, like, people are going to be fucking freaked out. I know how to do it. And everyone's coming to me now, and it's really interesting. Like, I fucking love it. I have no manager. I have nobody looking after me, but they're knocking on my door. I did an interview for BBC a few weeks ago. There's some things coming out next year. It's all about anti-aging and like strengthening the human immune system, which is what I have done. And people know that, scientists know that. Like, you know, I exercise my immune system with snake venom. It's a highly evolved reptilian saliva that I put into my system, and I don't get colds. I didn't have the COVID vaccine. I haven't had COVID. I'm never going to have anything like that. It's impossible. And I think it's really amazing that I'm still sat here without, you know, major fucking backing and sort of going, oh my God, look what you've discovered. But again, what I'm trying to bring to light is something that has been buried by organized religion. People used to use snake venom medicinally. The Egyptians were doing it exactly how I'm doing it. You know, there's snakes everywhere. People in Asia, people in South America, the indigenous people, they've all been taking snake venom exactly like I have, but it got killed off with the advent of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They killed off all the knowledge of snake venom being used medicinally, and we know how the snake was presented in the Bible as Satan, and it went downhill from there, and so did everybody's health. So yeah, there's some crazy shit, Harry, coming out. People used to use snake venom, and they were, you know, they know it. Anthropologists know it.
Yeah. How many snakes do you live with at the minute then?
I house a lot of all my venomous snakes are housed in a facility. And so I don't know how many. Some of them had babies recently. I have many different snakes, maybe like 30 different snakes knocking about, and I milk the venom. I have a freezer full of syringes. So I milk the venom, and then I'll fill each syringe up. And, you know, every 2 weeks, I put a little bit subcutaneously into my skin. I pick up a guitar, smoke some pot, and I beg the songwriting gods for ideas. And sometimes it works.
Yeah. So you still trying to write songs for other people as well, or is it just mainly for your own?
Yeah, I'm always writing songs. And I have started a new band, and I have a song coming out on October 31st. And my band is, I'm in a 2-piece band, and we are called Worship the Snake. And
okay.
And honestly, I've never been so happy in my life. I'm free. I can sing whatever I want. It's unusual. It's fun. But the whole purpose of it is to, worship the snake and just to be as blasphemous as possible, as humanly possible. I'm writing lyrics that even make I feel ashamed. I feel dirty, how dirty they are. It's like I get possessed. I'm really into demonic possession, if I were to be honest with you. I invite demonic entities into my body, and they're funny. They think I'm funny, and that's it. That's what's enabled me to survive the rock game and stuff. Shane MacGowan taught me how to write songs. Shane fucking MacGowan is the one who took me aside and said, I'll show you how to write songs. And he taught me. Do you want to know how to write songs?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Should I tell you how to write songs? This is how I learned how to write songs. Shane MacGowan. Just in case anyone doesn't know who Shane MacGowan is, he's the singer of The Pogue. You might know him from his famous Christmas hit Fairy Tale in New York, but he's a famous poet, isn't he? Anyway, Shane MacGowan, oh God, I have to be careful with this story. I was desperate. It was about 1994, 1995, and I was in between bands, and I was like, Shane, I need a record deal. And he said, I'll show you how to write songs, in his Irish accent. I'll show you how to write songs. And he said, I don't write my own songs. Ghosts write my own songs. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I don't write my own songs. And we talked about, Keith Richards always said, anyone can write songs. Anyone can write songs. They're floating above your head. You just have to learn how to reach up and grab them and pull them down. And that used to frustrate me as a kid. It's like, what is he talking about? But Shane MacGowan explained it to me, okay? This is going to sound really weird. Shane MacGowan said he doesn't write his songs, ghosts write his songs. It turns out, if you open yourself up to the right dimensions, to the right entities, there are entities that will write the songs for you because they want to inhabit your body. So he took me, Harry, he took me, and I was desperate. And he said, I'll show you how to write songs. He slammed me down on his fucking gross, black, slimy chair. I remember it was so gross, on Blackstock Road in you know, near Finsbury Park, where he lived. He sat me down and he said, here, smoke this. Smoke this. And he held this fucking, like this, this battery operated pipe thing. And he held it up to me. He said, smoke this. You smoke this. He put a guitar down. He said, I'm going to go out for half an hour. When I come back, you're going to have written a song. And I smoked that fucking pipe. And I knew it wasn't marijuana in that fucking pipe. I knew it because I knew it wasn't, okay? And I smoked that pipe and he left and I picked up a guitar and I swear, fuck me, like, I'll never forget it. I picked up that guitar and within 3 minutes, I'd finished a song that was quite complicated, like riff-wise, and I'd finished about 70% of the lyrics, just kind of in one go. And it flowed through me. And then a year and a half later, I recorded that and it ended up being on Carrie album, which was on Island Records. And it was a song called English Cocks, about being addicted to fucking smack. But it worked. I got a record deal. I wrote lots of other songs. To this day, I don't use those illicit drugs. I use snake venom and weed. And I invite, I've written with Bon Scott. I've written with lots of weird artists that they come into your body. They like the feeling of a human being who's allowing them to come into their body and feel what it's like to, like, you know, just feel like I'm smoking pot. I'm taking snake venom. It's 3:33 a.m. There's upside down crucifixes everywhere. I fucking want to party. These entities will come in and go, hey, and they, you know, they'll write with you. I can write with my hand over there and a guitar over there, and I'll see in the morning that I wrote something. I work with these things. I've done Ouija boards all my life. I know how to do it. It's strange. I know it sounds strange, but it's weird. You know, and perhaps it's not it. I've spoken about this with Mark Beaumont, who is an intelligent atheist. And he just said, bullshit, you know, you just have a talent and you believe that's how you're getting it and stuff. And that could be true, but it works for me.
Yeah, I guess that's the main point, isn't it?
Yeah. If I want to believe I've got Bon Scott fucking inhabiting my body.
Yeah.
So
okay, mate, yeah. I mean, that's really interesting, like, great chat.
To anyone who wants to write songs, it really, really is. It's just like, just allow yourself to, you know, just be open to, and to, you know, something else coming down and entering you and giving you that gift of music. Because, like, I'm not like a proper musician. Like, people laugh at me. They hate my guts. Most musicians hate my guts because they know I don't know what a E string guitar. Yeah, I don't know how to tune things and down tune, and like someone does that for me or whatever. But like, I just know how to pick that guitar up and make some kind of, you know, some kind of possession happen, and it just happens to have words and a melody to it that work. That makes sense.
Yeah. No.
Do you play? Do you play?
Yeah. Like I was in a band a long time ago that didn't really go anywhere, and then I've written songs over the years that just get stuck on SoundCloud. But I know what you mean. Like,
All right, cool. So you're a songwriter. Cool. Yeah. You understand a little bit what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Of just having that magic moment where it flows. You just got to find that magic moment, I guess, you know. But it's a lifetime of searching for it as well. It's a terrible, terrible thing if you get in the game of trying to always write the greatest song.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Well, Where can people keep up with your stuff? Is it Instagram mainly?
Yeah, like I'm on Instagram, Steve Ludwin, and I have a YouTube channel, Steve Ludwin, and I don't have adverts on there. I don't try to I can't make money. I'm against all that. Everyone has always told me you could do snake thing, you'd be big, you'd be. I got hired to be the next Steve Irwin. When Steve Irwin died, fucking Animal Planet and their lawyers, everyone were all over me. I had agents. I was going to be their guy. They wanted me to be the animal guy. And they looked at my MySpace, and guess what? On my MySpace, I had an upside down cross on my fucking neck, and I was wearing a dress because I'm like I'm like a classic cross dresser or whatever you want to call it. And they humiliated me. They actually made me write a letter of apology to them, which I did. It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And then I didn't get the job because I was wearing a dress in my MySpace. My whole life changed because they were scared of that, because I wasn't family material. It's crazy. It's just like, fuck. So yeah, like even on YouTube, like I don't want to have millions of followers and make money off adverts and stuff. I just don't. That's not the way to be an artist. I would rather be poor. And I'd rather die, and in 20 years' time, some Mexican kid going, fuck, I really like Worship the Snake. I've never seen Jesus Christ get such a fucking in a song before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough, mate. I admire it. Where can people hear this new band as well?
So yeah, Worship the Snake is on Spotify and YouTube, I guess. We're putting stuff out. It's a 2-piece, and it's very different. All I can say is, and it's great. I love it. And I'm a rapper. I rap.
All right. Excellent. Look forward to checking it out. All right, Steve, I'll let you go, mate, but I really appreciate that.
Thanks so much. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope I didn't ramble too much and say too much freaky shit that's going to get you demonetized.
No, it's all right, mate. It's all part of it. I enjoy people that like talking, so it's good.
All right. Thanks so much.
Cheers, mate. Take care.